Hi there. Welcome back to another chapter of Liberty's Bulwark, a Pathfinder 2e adventure with the Blades and Blasters crew. Today I have joined with me our regular players for this adventure, and as I introduce you guys, if you just tell us who your character is, and maybe what your favorite type of ice cream is, just for fun. Sim.
Hello, my character's Maden, half orc, barbarian. Yes, barbarian. And his favorite ice cream is he doesn't have one because he doesn't like ice cream.
Oh, he doesn't like ice cream.
He's a monster.
He is a monster.
He's a monster. All right, bees.
Hey, the bee's here. I'm playing Milo. He's a young holy man. His favorite ice cream would probably be just like chocolate. Like, yeah, he thinks he's really living it up when he gets chocolate.
Okay, fantastic.
Going wild.
Wanderer.
So I was playing Sabriel, but something bad happened to him at the end of the last session. So I'm now playing Corrivel Viridianus, a half sea elf druid. He hasn't yet appeared, and his favorite ice cream. He'd probably like any ice cream that was kind of homemade. If it was made by a shop, he wouldn't.
And last but not least, Zypher.
Hey, I'm playing Rigzin the Fallen. His favorite ice cream would be Rocky Road because that's the road he travels on.
Nice.
Oh, that was
Nice.
a good transition.
Hey.
And I am your friendly neighborhood GM, the Prankster. And my favorite ice cream is New York Cherry or Pistachio, depending on the mood I'm in. Alright guys, how about we jump into this? Chapter 6, A Light Gone Out. The Silver Ravens gathered their things, ready to track down a lead on Asmodeus worship in the area surrounding Akasazi. However, before they left, Rigzin thought it best to check on the lighthouse keeper that the party ran into the previous night. They knew the Hellknights were rumored to be in the area recapturing slaves to return to Cheliax. It was suspicious that they were present at the lighthouse, a way station that was part of the Bellflower network to free slaves. But aside from that, there was something brewing inside of Rigzin, almost hoping that the Hellknights were still there. He yearned for a conflict with them in a way that the party had not seen. Nevertheless, they followed Rigzin's lead to the lighthouse, and unfortunately, their hunch was proven right. The smell of smoke wafted through the air and trickled out of the lighthouse roof. Yelling could be heard in the distance as well. With only a moment's thought, the Ravens rushed into the battle in hopes of freeing the bonded slaves in tow that came into view. It was an odd sight, as Rigzin's rage matched Maden's for once. Unfortunately, the magic-using Hellknight stopped Rigzin in his tracks as he persisted forward, with Maden taking the lead instead, and the fight to the Hellknights with flail and plate armor. In the middle of their duel, the martial Hellknight with flail and plate armor discovered that Maden was a former slave in the fighting pits, and so he promised to bring Maden back to Cheliax as well. Sabriel and Milo also rushed forward, casting magic missiles and divine lances, focusing their attacks on the caster. Rigzin broke through and rushed the caster as well. With the three's combined might, they managed to kill the caster, with Rigzin landing the killing blow, decapitating their foe. The martial Hellknight was proving a more difficult challenge, though, having just defeated Maden in combat. With a wicked eye, he turned towards Rigzin, ready to do battle. Milo brought Maden back from the brink. Sabriel focused his attacks, and Rigzin turned towards their new foe. The Hellknight, through his own faulty attack, fell to the ground, with Rigzin primed to deal some significant damage. But something happened. As Rigzin's rage pushed him, he brought down his sword in a blow that the Hell Knight blocked with his gauntlet and followed with a flail shot to Rigzin's chin that knocked him unconscious. The Hell Knight pressed his attack, despite Milo's attempt to heal his friends, and defeated both Rigzin and Maden. Ready to deal a killing blow to either man, the martial Hell Knight made Milo an offer. "Let me take this one back to his owners, and I will leave you be." In the middle of an impossible and paralyzing choice, Sabriel stepped forward and offered himself. The deal was struck. And before either Rigzin or Maden could die, the Hell Knight took a small amount of demon's blood from a vial on his belt and placed it upon their lips to stabilize their conditions. The two men began to radiate a small amount of evil to Milo's trained, divined senses that dissipated after a minute. Sabriel was gagged and bound with the other slaves, led off to God's knows where for Hell Knight indoctrination, and Milo, poor Milo, stood next to his unconscious friends, paralyzed like he was only 2 years ago, in the middle of Cantargo. With a wicked grin and an evil chuckle, the Hell Knight left the place. "Don't forget the lighthouse keeper in the building!" The man yelled as he walked away with slaves and Sabriel in tow. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and share the map we were at last week. Give me just a second here. I realized I didn't move any of these tokens last time. Well, I'm going to go ahead and share the map, and we're going to pretend they're not there for the moment. Milo, I'm moving you up forward. The lighthouse is on fire. The smell of smoke permeating the air. Your two friends are unconscious but stable, and you see the Hell Knight with slaves in tow making his way down the winding path until he disappears out of view. What do you do?
Milo is sure that my friends are stable and living, right?
Yes.
Frightened that that they could die any moment. Well, frightened that the Hell Knight will follow through with his promise to kill them. Milo just steps around them and rushes into the building to try to save the lighthouse keeper, whom he knows from our previous encounter.
Okay. Gonna have to bring up a new map for you guys.
Just leave my
First, I
friends
need-
to roll around in the dirt.
Well, they're weak. They failed you.
Yes, they failed. I succeeded.
Okay, what can you all see?
No map yet, but it might be loading.
Yeah.
I just see Milo and the lighthouse with a bunch of.
There it comes.
Oh, there it is. Yes, now.
You guys are slow.
Oh, getting there. Oh.
I saw
Lighthouse on
flames.
fire.
Yep, we got some flames.
Yep, I see
Okay,
that
and
now.
can you only see in that particular room?
Yes, I have. I've viewed to the
I-
lighthouse keeper, but that's it.
I can see the whole lighthouse because I guess I'm not there. I'm just spectating.
Got you. That's fine. Just want to make certain. So lighthouse. So Milo, you enter this lighthouse, and it is a shit show. The moment you open up the door, the flames probably billow out of the door towards you, and it is this incredibly, what's the word I'm looking for? This incredibly fraught moment, as maybe you see like a timber like cracking, fire coming, smoke almost like choking you. What do you do?
Well, Milo's losing his mind. Just head spinning from what just happened, losing his friend, watching two of his friends nearly die. He's but no time to think. He's going to try to save the only life that he feels he can. Ducking and running and screaming for this for our friend. Do I know his name?
Yeah, he gave you his name, and it is Reynold.
Reynold. I'm just writing that down. Reynold. So okay. So Milo runs inside and screams, "Reynold! Reynold, are you alive? Where are you?" Just ducking and trying to breathe through his wet what do you call them? His vestments, his clothes. He's covering his mouth with that.
Okay, so you get in here. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna need you to make me a fortitude save.
Oh no! I'm afraid I'm not gonna do that for you because that sucks. No, here we go.
Did everybody else see it was almost on that one?
Yeah.
Probably still a fail.
Okay. So Milo, you begin like coughing. It's coming out of you. Just this whole situation, but you are up. You don't hear anything. No response.
I suppose Milo will just proceed and start to look around, looking into corners, staying low, knowing how fire works.
Sure.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go ahead, just in the interest again of this is a real smoky situation.
Sure.
Guys, and you are not present, but we're gonna go ahead and effectively enter into like initiative. With only Milo is the only person going on right now. So Milo, you run into this place. First 6 seconds, you roll a fortitude. You drop to the floor. Still churning out. You essentially have a move action left. What would you like to do?
Sure, I will run into the room and looking around. Again, looking low, looking to the corners. 5, 10, 15. I guess I will investigate this first room, making sure that. So, sorry, you said all I can do is move, so I move here.
Okay, so you move there. You bump into a chair. Go ahead and give me a perception check.
A little perception. Oh, come on.
Yeah, you don't see anything in there. You're able to see fires within the corners. You see even the furniture that's near you. The heat is really super burning you.
Sure.
Okay, it's round 2. Go ahead and roll me another fortitude save.
Oof.
Hey, you are good. The next 6 seconds, you have your normal move in standard, but if you're on the floor crawling,
Yeah.
your move is reduced to only 3 squares.
Fair. Yeah, that's what Milo's doing now. His eyes are probably just super watery and just scratchy and filled with smoke, and but he continues to crawl. 1, 2, 3, and he again just calls out, "Reynold! Reynold, tell me you're alive!"
You get no response. Nothing comes back.
Gosh. And, I mean, do I remember what this place looks like? This is like a mess.
Yeah, it's really difficult to remember what this place looks like. You know that you're in a hallway from what you're able to see before. This is about where you saw the Hellknights walk up stairs to their lodgings for the evening. Just through this doorway right here.
Right.
So this hallway, you know, would have like a room to your north, and you know that it would have a room to its south.
Do I know what those rooms are?
You would know that the room to your north was essentially kind of like a small bedroom on the first floor. You would know that the room to the west leads towards the lighthouse proper, going all the way up.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the room to the south would be the kitchen with a connected pantry.
Sure. I suppose I would try the bedroom first. Yep. Well, should I roll for it? I don't know what Milo's gonna do. I'm trying not to.
Call me.
I'm trying not to meta here. I'm gonna roll a d6. 1, 2, 3. He checks north. 4, 2, 6. He goes south. He's going south. I really don't know what he would do. I really don't know what he would do.
Sure. All right, so he moves in towards the pantry. Give me a second here. You are able to
Crawling.
push through the pantry, and you can see that the fire is billowing. The stove is on fire. It's almost like a gauntlet of fire that you would need to pass through. The smoke is thick. Go ahead and roll me a perception check just to see if you'd be able to see.
Sure, just right away.
What I think you can see. Yeah. Yes. As you look through, you see at the very edge of the hallway an unconscious body, or at the very end of the kitchen.
I think I'm going to. Well, I don't know if I would stand up and run, but crouch and run, if you will.
This is the start of a new round. Go ahead and roll me another fortitude save.
Fair enough.
DC increases every turn.
I bet it does. Whew.
You're good.
Yeah, so Milo will run in, 5, 10, 15, and check to make sure it's him. It doesn't really matter who it is. I want to save whoever is in here.
Yeah, as you draw close, you do see that it is Reynolds, the lighthouse keeper, laying there unconscious. You're close enough to also see that it looks like he's taken a couple of hits. He looks very bruised.
Right.
He's very shallowly breathing.
So can I do like a medicine check to see if he can? I guess I want to like slap him to consciousness if possible, because I'm not super strong.
Sure.
Just slap him and be like, Reynolds, we gotta get out of here. Just what shall I roll? Is it a medicine or a?
That's are you trying to specifically bring him back? Then medicine.
Okay, fair. I will slap him medically.
Slap him medically. Yeah, your medical slap goes across his face and just adds a little red spot to his cheek. He is still very unconscious.
Fantastic. I'm gonna
unconscious and being beaten up.
I'm gonna try to drag him out of here, I suppose, because I don't think I'm strong enough to carry him. This is gonna suck. We're gonna die together.
First action was to crawl.
Yeah.
Second action was to pick him up. So how are you doing this? Are you standing up?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to stand up and pull him by his arms. Is what I'm planning to do.
Okay. All right. Next round. This will be round 3 or 4. Need you to roll me another fortitude save.
40. Wish I had more fortitude.
Okay. Milo, you begin coughing uncontrollably.
No.
You've been able to hold it in thus far. Gonna go ahead, and that will be reflected by giving you some wounds. Let me go ahead and roll a d8. Oops. Actually, you know what? I brought out my real dice tonight so that I can roll them.
That's always
It's not
fun.
like you guys can see anyway. Alright, Milo, you're going to take 6 wounds.
Yikes. 6 points of fire damage to the lungs.
Yeah, you are coughing up a storm. You feel like you can move him, but as long as you're dragging him, you're going to move at half speed.
Yep, I'm gonna.
Which will be in 3 squares.
I think that's the plan. Because Milo's just not a beefy guy. So 3 squares.
Actually, you know what? Roll me an athletics check.
Oh, you would. Okay, athletics 0 modifier.
Oh, Fortuna kicked in just at that time. That does not... I had this on non-stream audio. This cannot be streamed. Milo, you try to budge this guy, you get him just 1 square as opposed to your normal 3.
Oh, jeez. So we're up north 1 square. I'm just gonna keep doing this, but I'm gonna have to roll a fort save every time, I guess, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Jeez. All right. I guess I just want to make sure we're doing the actions right. So fort save and then one movement? I mean, don't I get 3 actions per round?
Okay, so first off, you passed your fortitude save. No
Great.
damage this round. You're able to maybe bring up some of your vestments over your mouth and begin to kind of like stop coughing. However, I need you to still make me an athletics check.
Yes. Oh.
Okay, you get another square, Milo. That is another round. Go ahead and give me another fortitude save. Let's see. Gotta make certain. Okay, you pass. Go ahead and give me an athletics check.
Come on, Milo.
That is a success. You get 3 squares.
Oh, beautiful. 3 whole squares. 1, 2, 3.
Okay, you get him out of the door, into the hallway. You're not too terribly far. Milo, another fortitude save.
Oh, Milo's...
That is a fail.
Milo's losing it, man.
Yeah, the coughing is getting the better of him as he takes another 6 points.
I'm sure his heart's just
damage.
racing so fast. He's breathing really heavily, inhaling all the smoke, and not good in the crisis. There's a fort, and now I have the athletics again.
An athletics check.
Oh no!
Milo, from the coughing, you just like slip and fall to the ground, making it nowhere this round.
Awesome.
What does Milo do?
Oh,
It is
I
it is
imagine
a new round.
I imagine he's probably starts to cry, just losing his mind about how desperate he is to save somebody today. Just not you too, Reynolds. Come on. He just stands back up and just maybe even starts to grab his legs out of desperation. Starts carrying him by his legs because the arms are. It's easier to drag the top half than the bottom half, I think.
Okay. So yeah, Milo frantically doing everything he can. You should roll me another fortitude save, Milo.
I'm blaming him for my failure. It's because I'm grabbing your arms and not your legs. Oh, son of a bitch! It's another natural 1.
That's another
It's all
natural one.
Sabriel's fault.
Oh my gosh, I have rolled 6 damage 3 times in a row.
Oh,
That's oh my gosh. How does Sarenrae feel about the mark of the beast?
you're gonna kill me.
Not good. Milo is the smoke is getting to him. Roll me another athletics check.
Ooh, is Milo going to die here? Athletics.
And after this, we're going to take a small break to the outside. Oh, so he passed his athletics check.
Great. 3 squares.
All right.
Not a lot.
3 squares. All right. Reynolds is right there behind you. Milo, the door is right there.
Yeah.
You have a pretty freaking high.
Watch me
fortitude
die.
save.
I only get +5 to my fort. So I might have to roll a natural
see
20
it.
to pass it.
Pretty much.
Oh, it was so close! It was so close!
It was on the
Hovered. It hovered.
I'm gonna die right here in the doorway.
Okay, that puts you at 22 wounds, 4 hit points
my
left.
gosh.
Roll me a very important athletics check.
Oh my gosh. Athletics. Oh.
Oh, I was hovering on that 18. That's enough to move 1 square, Milo! Okay, Milo. We're going to take a small break as we move to the outside. Rules as written. Death and dying rules. When you stabilize, you do have the chance to come back with 1 HP. I will need a Constitution, a straight up Constitution roll from both Rigzin and Maden. Both of you are still unconscious. Okay, going back into this over here. Go ahead.
I was going to say, it might be straining the bounds of coincidence, but Corovel is actually out there looking for the party.
You know what? It is, but you know what? I tell you what. Let's just do a straight up luck roll. Go ahead and give me a d20. 1 through 10, he is not there. 11 through 20, we'll see.
14.
Sirenscape really wants to get us.
He wants to censor our YouTube.
Hold off. Yeah, right? Know what you're doing, Sirenscape? Okay, Corovel. I left it up to the dice, and the dice answered. Give me just a second here. I need to remove Sabriel from our combat tracker, and I need to add Corovel. Corovel, you are coming from Akasazi?
Yes.
Okay, so you would be coming from the south. Let me go ahead and place your token on this map. Corovel, you come from the south. You saw the lighthouse, which everybody in Akasazi knows about, on fire. You smelled the smoke. You come on the scene. What are you doing?
Well, being connected to the Bellflower network, he possibly knows that the significance of this lighthouse, that it's one of those safe houses. So as soon as he saw it on fire, he started running. I mean, he probably would have anyway, just seeing any building on fire, but he's definitely running at this point. He's been carrying his snake companion, Nasha, on his shoulder, and he kind of gently lets her down as he runs, and kind of unlimbers some of his stuff. He's dropping his shield as he goes. He takes off his bows so he can move more easily. It's just kind of dropping them in a trail behind him as he runs up the path to the lighthouse. By the time he gets there, he's relatively kind of unencumbered. He's shrugged off his backpack and everything, and he's dismayed to see the two bodies lying out in front. Probably the first thing he does is just check that they're breathing, and then looks towards the lighthouse to see what he sees.
Yeah, as he looks at the lighthouse, it is, for all intents and purposes, just a shit show. Fire has broken through the roof at this point. Smoke is billowing out of it. Roll me a perception check, because Milo specifically said he was yelling and screaming. I'm going to see if you catch what he was yelling.
Not great.
That is enough to be able to hear something coming from the lighthouse. Some yelling, something.
Okay, we're running over in that direction. And
Okay,
see what I
that
can
is-
see through the door, the windows, anything in that direction. And I'm preparing to cast. I've got a spell that's not really intended for this, but might help. Called Hydraulic Push, which kind of hits someone with a jet of water.
Okay. All right, so go ahead and you can move up to 50 feet. So we can use the ruler to indicate that. That would get you to about where Rigzin and Maden are, if that is what you would like to do.
Yes, please. I haven't actually got the map up at the moment. Is there any way you can bring it up for me?
Yes, I can. There you go, my friend.
Sorry.
Okay. Back to the lighthouse and a very important fortitude save.
Natural 20 or die.
You're gonna need, at this point, you need a natural 20.
Mm-hmm. Oh, come on.
Oh,
19.
cruel.
I gotta do some very important. I just gotta make certain the math is checking out. He stood up in the kitchen. That's the first time he did it. That increased the DC to 12. He He had a 5-foot step there. And he had one 5-foot step. No, he had two 5-foot steps.
I
in a
failed
row.
twice. Yeah.
Yeah, while you were standing too. So that brought the DC up. Yeah, that fails, buddy. Gonna go ahead and need to roll some damage.
I got 4 hit points.
Hey, there's a chance you survive.
There's a chance.
And I rolled an 8 on the die.
Of course you did.
Milo, at the edge of the door, falls unconscious.
Just still holding onto his legs.
Still holding onto this guy's legs. Milo falls unconscious. Okay, I need constitution rolls from Rigzin and from Maden to see if they are able to come to. You need a 10 or more on a con roll. Maden is still still unconscious. Go ahead and give me one, Rigzin. Oh, Rigzin is still unconscious as well. Coraville.
Okay, so Coravel's, you can kind of probably see them stirring a little bit because Maden almost regained consciousness. So he's pretty sure that they're going to be okay. So he's rushing towards this sound he's heard in the lighthouse, thinking it might be the lighthouse keeper. And what he's going to do is, when we get to the door, can he see Milo and Reynold?
Let's see. Let's get you your 25. You could probably just jump over this fence if you want.
Yeah.
5, 10, 15. All right, so you get right to the door, and you see smoke billowing out, clearly like fire in the background, just glowing. And you see at the door is a soot-ridden and badly burned Milo, who looks to be taking shallow breaths. Looks like he's still grabbing onto this guy's feet.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm very quickly going to just tear a little bit off of my tunic and just wrap it around my mouth. Just kind of tie it round as a little bandana and then pull him clear. If I don't think I can do that quickly, I'll do it without. I'll just hold my breath.
For this particular action, that would be too much. But if you want to just try and grab him and pull him, that's fine.
Yeah, hold my breath, pull him out, and then
roll me an athletics check.
Okay.
If I roll an 8, I'm leaving a good pile out.
I rolled the wrong thing. Hold on.
You're good, my friend.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, yeah, Coraville, you are able to pull Milo free easily. He's right there. But you know, especially because you're part of the Bellflower Network, that this is not the lighthouse keeper.
Yep. Okay. I don't know whether I can do anything this round, but if I can, I'm going to... if I can see him, I'm going to try and dash in and get him. Yeah, just take a breath now. I'm outside, then hold my breath again and go in.
Absolutely. Yeah, you can take a breath, go in with your move action. You'd be able to get right next to him where he is. And roll me an athletics check to see if you're able to pull him free easily.
Come on.
Oh, hero. Coraville pulls him out. I don't know where the heck. Where would you like to have pulled him? There or like farther away?
Yeah, I'll get them both out to about there. Then I'll pull them over to where the other two bodies are.
Oh, I'm so glad you're so strong.
Check on everyone.
Yeah, a little salty. Roll me a perception check, Coraville.
Okay. Not great. 13.
What did I do with my GM screen? Give me a second. There it is. Need to lose weight. Okay. Okay, yeah, you are able to pull him over by the. You're able to pull both of them over. Who are you pulling first?
Reynolds, I probably kind of know him, so kind of pull him
Okay.
clear, and then pull this stranger who was obviously trying to save him.
Pull that stranger who's obviously trying to save him. Okay, Corville. Okay, we're gonna stop out of initiative here, as you can hear the water in the background, or the flames and the smoke in the background. What are you doing, Corville? Everybody is unconscious.
I'm
say,
going to cast.
I haven't stabilized yet either. I sort of
Yeah, I was going to cast stabilize
for
on
that, but yeah,
both of them.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
Okay, so what were you doing again? I'm sorry.
I was going to cast stabilize on both of them.
So you cast Stabilize on Milo.
Yes. I'll probably cast it on Reynold first of all if he's not dead, and then on Milo.
Roll me a medicine check.
Okay. And I was going to cast the spell. I've got a cantrip.
Gotcha. A medicine check just to ascertain what's going on.
Oh, I see.
with
That's
their general health.
Sorry. Right. Oh, I rolled a
Yeah.
1.
Okay. You cast Stabilize on both of them. So after a minute, Maden, Rigzin, Milo, you all come to. Unless there's anything else that you would like to try and do, Corville.
No. I guess. Let me have a look at the heal spell, actually. Don't know whether I can. Yeah, okay. I'm going to cast heal as a 3-action spell. So I'm going to try and get all of them.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead, and I believe that is a D8 for everyone.
Yes, that's correct. Okay. 6 hit points.
So you did the heal everyone for 6?
Yes.
Great.
Yep. So you 3 and Reynolds all healed. And then he's going to go and start gathering up his equipment.
Okay, let's go ahead and everybody gets -6 wounds. Caravel. As everybody begins to come to, Reynolds is not moving.
Oh,
Milo, you begin to awaken. Maden, you begin to awaken. Rigzin, you begin to awaken.
Caravel kneels down next to Reynolds, and he kind of just, I don't know what the state of medicine in this world is, whether he kind of checks for a pulse or what, he just checks, is he breathing, can I see anything, and I guess for that medicine he's not detecting much, and he starts kind of tapping him on the cheek and sort of saying, Reynolds,
Sure.
come on, Reynolds, you can do it.
I
Come
imagine
on, Reynolds.
Milo's coming to and hearing this and confused about where he is and what's happening. Remembers upon seeing Reynolds and was kind of roll over to him and Reynolds. Can I do a medicine check to check him out from where I lie?
So yeah, you can roll a medicine check. Caravel, you specifically asked for it. He's checking to see if he's breathing, checking to see if there's a pulse. He does not look like he has a pulse. Or, I'm sorry, he does not look like he's breathing, is what I meant to say.
Right.
Okay. And I know that if he'd been unconscious and even close to death, the healing would have brought him back, would it? Or is it not necessary?
So this is like okay. So how I have it in my head is like healing would help. Burns. It helps all these things.
Yep.
But generally, people are like still breathing. Like smoke inhalation. After a while, like you would know that somebody might be able to be brought back. You know, but right now he's just not breathing. He's still warm.
Right.
He's you he has a pulse. He's just not breathing.
Right. I don't know how much we'd know. Coroval will turn to Milo, who's probably still quite groggy, and said, "He's not breathing. I healed him, but he's not breathing. He's not coming back. I think he inhaled too much smoke."
Milo himself, like coughing on smoke. Let me see. Can I just medicine check him? Investigate his. Listen to his chest. Even like, do I have like detect magic as a cantrip? Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, give me a medicine check, Milo.
I got all kinds of
and
ideas.
Let's see what it is.
Medicine check first.
Okay, Milo. Yeah, he's not breathing, and so you begin giving him essentially like mouth to mouth.
Sure.
And like start this CPR.
Mm-hmm.
Let me go ahead and roll here. You begin just starting this. What's going through Milo's head? And Rigzin and Maden, you awaken to all of this. What's going through your guys' minds?
Milo is focused on the person in front of him he thinks he can save. Not even paying attention to the fact that there's an elf here with us now out of nowhere. Milo thinks he brought him out and he's trying to save him. He just blacked out for a second.
Gotcha. Okay. Matt and Rigzin, what's going through you guys' minds?
Rigzin is just still lying on his back. He opens his eyes. The sun shining into them, and he's seeing double based on the kind of knocks he's gotten. He finds himself without a weapon in his hand, and he is still very groggy as to what really happened. He tries to get up by like putting an elbow down and using that as a way to prop himself up. And I would like to pause there so that other people have opportunity to go.
Maden.
Yeah, Madden slowly opens his eyes, feeling the pain. He'll kind of turn, look towards where he knew Rigzin was last standing, and see him laying there, and kind of starts to roll towards him, right? And I'll do the same. That way, don't interrupt there. IP over there.
Coroval is you can see someone vaguely elven looking that you haven't seen before. He has pale whitish bluish hair and pale blue skin. He looks similar sort of skin tone to some of the half elves you saw in Akasazi. He's wearing leather armor and a green cloak. And he is kneeling next to Milo, who is seemingly trying to minister to Reynold, the lighthouse keeper, and all his attention's focused on Reynold.
Yeah, I again, Milo paying no attention to you. If anything, would Back up! Give him room! He needs room! While still doing, like, breaths. Rescue breaths.
Yeah. Corovel will do that, looking slightly helpless.
I'm sorry, Prank, I accidentally closed Sirenscape. Can you pump it through again or reset it for me? Thank you, sir. Wait, I lost everybody else now. Did I lose internet?
No,
Yeah.
we can
No,
hear
Oh,
you.
great. It was just real quiet. Gotcha. It got real quiet. Got it.
So I guess probably that's the moment at which Corovel will notice the others are coming round, and he'll walk over and offer them an, probably Maden first as he's closest. He'll offer. Oh, actually, no. I guess he can't go around that way. He'll probably going around the other way, and over to Rigzin first, and offer him a hand to get up. Says, "Take it slowly. You've had some very nasty wounds."
Just to clarify, Corovel is an elf, correct?
He's a half elf, yeah. And obviously,
but has elven features.
yes, yeah, and sea elven as well. He's got that blue skin and the slightly sort of scalloped ears that are common to
Perfect.
sea elves.
So you see Rigzin, like his eyes are still unfocused, and you can see that it's open, it's looking at you, but it's not focused on you. It's kind of focused behind you. He's already on one elbow. He smiles a little and takes your hand. "Thank you, Sabriel. I don't know what came over me. Thank you." And he, you can hear he's saying a name that is unknown to you, calls you Sabriel, and like gingerly gets up to his feet. He almost falls down again, but he kind of holds himself and steadies, and then he kind of bends over, hands on his knees as he's trying to take deep breaths, and he's clearly hurting all over.
And Corovel, as he sort of walks past him and goes to help Maden, he says, "Oh, you're very welcome, but my name is not Sabriel, it's Corovel. I think Sabriel is your other companion. I saw no sign of him here." And he goes to help, again, offers a hand up to Maden.
Yeah, Madden, observing all this, would grab his hand. Where did Sabriel go?
I don't know. I only just arrived. The two of you were unconscious, and your friend here, I believe the priest of Serenray, he was in the house, in the lighthouse. He tried to rescue Reynold, the lighthouse keeper. Well, he still is. He almost made it out. He'd reached the door, but he'd been overcome by the smoke. I got there in time to drag them out, save them from the flame, but I'm not sure that I saved Reynold from the smoke.
Mad would turn towards where the lighthouse keeper is, and Milo. Milo, is Sabriel in there as well?
I'm not sure that Milo's paying attention to what you're saying as he's trying to just give rescue breaths to this man, to Reynold.
When he hears that, then Corovel will go and leap over this fence if he can, and go and peer into the house, trying to see if there's anyone else in there.
Yeah, man would start walking their way as well. That's the only place where you think Sabriel would be. Rigzin, he might be inside.
Milo would realize what's happening here, and say, "Stop! Sabriel's gone. He was taken by the slavers. The Hellknights.
So, in the middle of your last rescue breath, perhaps you go down one last time, just. Reynolds begins to come to life, coughing maybe like right in your mouth, but you can see him like starting to groan and move around.
Yeah, I realize I'm not a great shape to have been giving coughing breaths to him, but yeah.
He breathes in smoking.
Yeah, just giving secondhand smoke back to him. But yes, I would alert the party that Sabriel is not here. He's gone. He's gone. We lost him. He's not in there. He might just roll over, realizing that Reynolds is saved, everyone else is here, and he's just barely clinging to life himself and recovering from all the smoke inhalation and giving all the breath he has to this man. Just rolls over and says, "He's gone," just laying on the ground.
Rigzin is just standing there when he hears Milo's words. He just stands up and starts looking around. He understands now a little more of his surroundings. The people that the Bellflower Network was trying to hide are gone. Sabriel is gone. The Hell Knight they were fighting is gone. He just falls to his knees right there, and his head hangs low to his chest. How can this be?
Milo just rolls over and pulls himself up to his knees and looks over at Rigzin and says, "We failed. We failed the Hell Knights. They were too strong. Sabriel, he volunteered to save all of us. He said they could take him if they let us live."
In that moment, oh, go ahead, man.
Maden's staring at Milo, trying to comprehend what he's hearing. What do you mean he let them take him to save us?
Yes. You especially. They wanted to take you. Sabriel wouldn't let them. He said, "Take me instead." They took him. Because we killed their magic friend. They took our magic friend. That sounds so stupid, I apologize.
That's okay. I love it.
Yeah, they needed the magic. They didn't want your muscle. They took from us what we took from them.
We have to go to get them. They can't be that far.
We're in no shape. We're in no shape. I can provide some healing. I would do so. What little I have left. I have one more divine font healing, which will only give 1d10 to all of my friends, myself included. Oh, sorry. I gotta make sure I'm trying to target everybody. Well, apologies. Mechanics really slow things down here. And myself as well. Okay, I will roll 1d10 to see how much I heal everybody. Including the lighthouse keeper, Reynolds. That's my last divine font, free heal. Which
Does that get you as well?
Yes, I would heal myself as well. I think I targeted myself. Oh, I didn't.
You did not.
Oops.
In that moment, when you guys are talking about what to do, and the light from Saren Ray's, from the power of Saren Ray, is channeled through Milo and washes all over all of you. Rigzin specifically, you would feel it. It's probably a familiar feeling. You're used to being held from what manner of things, but as all that is going on, everything is kind of like drowning out to all of you. I'm sorry, everything is drowning out to Rigzin. Perhaps you are just like transfixed on Milo, or on your sword, or on Maden, or Reynolds, or this whole shit show of a situation with the lighthouse and fire, and it's like you are transported to another time. A time in your past. You are in the main city of Cheliax, its capital, Agorian. You have recently been completed your training as a paladin, and you are filled with fervor and zeal and the pure and utter desire to enforce the law at the fault of everything else. Perhaps you're walking up the steps to a small temple where you have been put, a temple of Asmodeus, one which you've been told is an ally of the law, just like Iomadai. You are to meet a contact there, and it's a long trek up these steps, and you can see the familiar blood red tapestries with black pentagrams. And as you make your way up to the temple steps, sure enough, you see your father dressed in his familiar shining plate mail, and he turns around at you, beaming with pride at the young man you have become. Son, I am so proud of the training that you have completed. You will go on to serve Cheliax and bring glory to House Throne. He smiles.
I wish to be only like you, Father. To uphold the law above all else. To bring those to justice who shirk it, shy away from it, hide away from it.
He nods. Yes, yes, yes. And so you shall. You won't just follow in my footsteps. You won't just be another paladin of Iomadai. You will surpass me, son. And he puts his hand on your shoulder in a very paternal way.
I wish to only serve the law, Father. To make the will of the Lords. To spread it across this land and to bring order above all else. To bring and strike fear into the hearts of those who do evil. The law is the way forward. The law provides light.
He smiles. My son, I'm so proud to introduce you, to be the one to introduce you to some of the friends, some of the allies that we will be working alongside in this most holy mission of Iomadai. Come with me. And you make your way into the temple, and it is something else. It is huge, and it is just opulent. It is amazing with these tapestries and fires just going everywhere. Soldiers at attention. What do you think Rigzin is feeling in this moment?
Rigzin is taking it all with an awestruck face. He is following exactly behind his father, matching the cadence of his footsteps. Um, I would say the great hall is silent except for their footsteps, with the clink of their plate mail as they walk. He keeps his eyes straight forward, but from his peripheral vision, he's taking everything in. He's seeing the soldiers in the room, the red tapestries, and all he's thinking about is how he is going to make his father proud, make his God proud, and follow the letter of the law to a fault and to bring it to those who do not know what the law means.
So as you're making your way deeper into this temple, somewhat near the front, where up on a dais you probably would see an altar adorned with the same red tapestries you've been seeing everywhere. The smell of incense is just permeating your senses, and the echo of your footsteps just across all of this amazing stonework throughout the temple just echoes. People are saluting you, like their fist to their chest as you walk on by. And at the front is a man with a wicked-looking flail standing there. Ah! The newest recruit, Viomadai. Do I presume? And he looks at you, and your father steps out of the side for you to be able to speak for yourself.
Yes, I am the latest recruit, following in the steps of my father, wanting to make him proud, wanting to take the law to the people who are unlawful.
That is good. It is a good thing for us to bring the law to the lawless lands around us, to remind them of their place. Who is in charge? You will go far, young man. You will go very, very far. Tell me, do you have any questions of us before we share with you how our two groups intermix and work together?
No, I only wish to serve.
The creepiest goddamn smile you have ever seen in your life creeps across this guy's face, looking at you emphatically, putting on this helmet upon his head. Good. Then you will serve House Thrune and Cheliax well. And at that moment, he says, let your brothers meet you. And you turn around, and there assembled is a bunch of other men in wicked armor like his, intermixed with the Yomidian paladins, who all look at you. And this guy brings up his hands. Brothers, I introduce to you Rigzin, paladin of Yomadai, working alongside the Hellknights, specifically the Order of the Godclaw of Hellknights. Greet him with open arms in Asmodeus' name. And he nods, and there's just like a hoorah! And they like take their hands, pound them to their chest just like that to salute you into this place.
Rigzin looks at them, and immediately he stands a little taller, a little straight back. And he shouts back, "For valor, for honor, but above all else, for the law."
For the law! And there's like a loud cheer as that happens. And as that happens, like there's just like this acclaim and people yelling and just like super into it. And for a moment, you swear that you could hear screaming from the depths of this temple. You quickly put away as something that was maybe just a figment of your imagination. That same droning happens as Rigzin, you are brought back to this place here in the now with the fire in front of you. Your friends doing their best to recover from what is going on, and this new person who just appeared out of nowhere.
Rigzin shakes his head, shakes his head severely. He comes back to the present and catches the last words Maden said about going after the Hellknights. No, it's too late. I have failed. We cannot help our friend Sabriel right now. We must go back to Akasazi and recover. We cannot let what happened here today repeat itself. Lessons were learned. Things need to change. I need to change.
And man, getting ready to walk off into the sunset, chasing after Sabriel stops and looks back at Rigzin and Milo. It leaves a poor taste in my mouth. Perhaps you're right. We should rest. But I don't know if I'd be able to get any rest knowing that they have Sabriel. But yes, let's go back to the village. He doesn't even pay attention to the grounds creeper on the ground. Rest up and set on our way.
Milo's probably just got tears welling up in his eyes from hearing Rigzin lose hope. But he doesn't disagree. So, again, trying to be strong, trying to be a man. He says he's right. We failed today, but tomorrow's a new day, and a new chance. The dawn brings new light. We could try tomorrow.
We didn't fail. Sabriel is still alive somewhere. We won't fail until we see his corpse. Then we'll know what failed.
They won't kill him. They want to make him a Hellknight.
Yeah.
What
We
does
must
Sir
stop him.
Rigzin's... Oh, sorry, say that again, Maden.
Alright. Well, we must stop them.
What's going through Rigzin's mind when he hears that they want to make Sabriel into a Hell Knight?
That is the last straw, at which point he says, Fuck the dawn. Fuck the light. I have stood by the sidelines, trying to be good, while the world turned to shit. People with power crushed the poor, the helpless under their heels. People with fancy words twisted and turned those with righteousness in their hearts. And yet, those very righteous people stood by and let themselves get perverted in the name of the law. I have stood by all these years thinking redemption and salvation was something I could achieve through hard work and penance. But the gods seem to care little about what a human wants. For the gods are asleep, rich on the pain and misery that is wrought on this world, rich from sucking at the teat of the pain and misery that's wrought on this world. They are going to make him a Hellknight. Then there is time. Time to make them repent their very choice they had here today. The process isn't easy, and it will take time which we will have in our hands. We shall hunt them. Mistake you not my words. And every one we find, we shall make an example of them. An example that will lead to stories across this land. They rule with an iron fist. They rule with the letter of the law. They talk about Asmodeus as the wily one. But hell has other horrors that people don't speak of. Why should only the evil use horror for their own machinations? Why can't I use horror for my goals? Why can't I use horror to bring back a lost friend? Why can't I use horror to rid this world of the Hellknights, of the Asmodeus cult, and anything that stands in my way? And with that, Rigzin kind of walks towards where his sword had fallen. He takes it, wraps it with a piece of cloth from his knapsack. Come, young Milo. Come, Maden. We must rest.
Milo is kind of dumbstruck at what he's hearing from Rigzin because it's just so out of character. And Milo remembers seeing this aura of evil around him briefly, but he fears he's lost his friend, more than one friend, but he doesn't. Just kind of shaking his head in disbelief. He doesn't dare challenge what Rigzin's saying, but he's thinking, who is this right now?
Caravel, I know that you just came here, but what is going through your mind with everything that's going on?
Yeah, Caravel realized that they were going to... It looked like these guys had something to discuss, and it can't have been easy, you know, that they seem to have lost a friend, they were all near death, there was going to be some stuff to discuss, so he wanted to go and gather up all this stuff, which he's kind of strewn on the path to the lighthouse, but he's kind of used that as an excuse to kind of give them a bit of space as well. He didn't think this was the right point for a stranger to be hovering around. So he does that, and he he comes back, and then he kind of keeps his distance a little bit, and then he walks over to some bushes and holds out his hand, and a largish snake comes slithering out of the bushes, and he holds down his hand, and it slithers up his arm, coils around his arm, and then makes itself comfortable around his shoulders. And then he stands about like 20-30 feet away, kind of ostensibly watching the lighthouse burn. You think he's probably sort of listening in, trying not to, but he'll have heard some of what was being said.
Milo will look to Reynold and say, I'm sorry. I'm sorry we couldn't save your lighthouse.
Yeah, as you're talking to Reynold, he it's just like looking at Burn, and he looks at you, and he just says, 15 years. This is why we were supposed to settle down and live out our golden years. And he looks at you, tears just like streaming down his face, and he just says, it's all I had left of her.
Milo will say nothing, but put his hand on his shoulder and maybe pull him in for a hug. Say, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, he does as best as he can to kind of like weakly hug you back until it grows like tighter and tighter and tighter, and it's just full on ugly crying,
Sure.
sobbing. Your party in time begins to make its way towards Akasazi. With the fire from the lighthouse, sound of it slowly quieting, sounds of nature returning towards the group as they are just making their way down another path in another place. Kind of fade out from this particular scene, and we fade in to a small group of people, 5 or 6, not many, making their way through the forest. Camera kind of like slowly zooms in on this group, and you see the Hellknight your party lost to at the side, keeping an eye on all of you, specifically with Sabriel bound hands and gagged around his mouth. All of you connected to this rope as he's making your way. Eventually it becomes evening. You don't know how long you've traveled. You guys have done the best you can. Sabriel, this thing is probably like running, the gag is running against your mouth, and it's probably causing just like chafing. But he knows that you're a caster, and he doesn't want you doing any shenanigans whatsoever.
It's fair, because I absolutely would be. Yeah.
Yes. What is going through Sabriel's mind?
Sabriel is in. He's feeling full on despair. They rushed into battle to save these people. They completely failed. He thinks his 2 companions are gonna survive, but he doesn't really know. And now, he sacrificed himself to save Maden, but now he's wondering, are these guys going to turn him into a Hell Knight? Is he going to do more harm than he'd ever done good? And again, he's just thinking over and over again about all those years he wasted. All those years when he could have been making himself stronger, making himself into someone who'd have, eaten this Hell Knight for breakfast. And he didn't. He just made his way, easily through life. He lazed his way through the years and let them breeze by, as other people were suffering. And he always thought it was someone else's problem. And now he feels he's really paying for that, and that perhaps others will pay as well. So he just feels that this is his final, ultimate failure. And much as he's determined to resist, he feels sure deep inside him that he's going to end up as a Hell Knight. That they'll take all this anger and use it to turn him.
You make your way through the forest, branches hitting you every so often as you're making your way down the path, perhaps even stepping on a rock or tripping, but unfortunately can't really do much with your hands because they're bound, and you fall, and up with you, and he pulls you back up again. We're almost to the campsite. About another hour passes by, and it is fairly deep into the night. When you can see a couple of campfires in the distance, nothing too crazy. He continues to keep pushing you all down the road as you just hear, "Who goes there? It's me, I'm back. Your name?" Guy kind of grunts. The Hell Knight specifically next to you, looking at you, and he says, "Well, I guess you'll know it soon enough. Javar, I am here." "Ah, excellent, Javar. Welcome. We're so glad that you could return." And you hear kind of walking up with the gravel. "How goes the hunt? Trust you and Shauna were able to find some people?" And he just continues like pushing you along as this other guy in just like crazy blood red plate mail comes closer. "Unfortunately, Shauna did not make it." Well, that is unfortunate. He begins looking around the campsite. Sabriel, your eyes begin to fix, and you can see like several groups of just like huddled masses. A couple of people in plate mail kind of standing, looking intimidating in the midst of all of it. "Yeah, this is enough for us to at least bring them to Fort Taddy Watch for processing. They can, and then we'll let them make the... we'll let them deal with it next, getting them back to Chaliax, so that we can continue the hunt." "Oh, wait a moment." And he looks around. You can see him kind of like counting heads, Sabriel. Again, this guy is just like continually pushing you in, and you're just taking all of this in. "Actually, you know what? I think we can all go home finally. It appears that we've met our quota. There's no shortage of slaves getting away. But this is what we are contracted for. Finally, to get back to civilization as opposed to this backwater hellhole." The other Hell Knights begin to kind of like draw in, drawing in closer. Again, you can see all of these people cowering at that. "I might have a new recruit for us, even though we lost Shauna. I believe we can bring this one." And he specifically pulls you aside, Sabriel, in a very like aggressive way. We caught him doing magic, and to save his friends, he decided to come along instead. This one steps up to you, very awkwardly close. Let me get a look at him. Begins looking you over like you're a piece of cattle. Sabriel, what's going through your mind at all of this?
Sabriel is he's trying to look contemptuous, but actually he's feeling kind of despair at this moment. So he does his best to kind of summon that expression. Sorry, I've got to take a very quick break. I'll be right back. Sorry, family stuff.
Yeah, maybe we can all take a break now. Just do a quick bio break.
I'll pause my recording.
Thank you for holding on just a moment. We are ready to roll. So all of these peasants are dirty in their owner guard, looking at you, the new group that came in, and Sabriel, it hits you, the look on every single one of their faces. It's despair, the same look you have on your face.
And looking around the group, Sabriel realizes that although there isn't much he can do now, about all he can do is to try and help these people get through the dark times that lie ahead of them. Maybe eventually he can help some of them escape, or at least not just despair and let these guys do whatever they want. They may not be able to stop them doing much, but maybe there's something they can do. And he tries to muster some spark of hope within himself. There's not a lot left, but he tries.
As that is going on, this inner battle within you, this guy steps to the side. We'll have to report this to Marcus. Marcus! And all these other Hellknights, and there's not a ton, I don't want to make it seem like there's an army, including the one that your party scrapped with. There's a total of 6 of them here. One of them begins to step forward, the others showing clear deference to. Stepping out of the way, making certain that they're not there. And he steps out and he looks like this.
Who is this new boy?
As he steps forward. My lord, this is a new, we think this could possibly be a new recruit.
Has he filled out the proper paperwork yet? Has he signed the contract? Is his allegiance ours? Is he Asmodeus's?
And Sabriel will just, he's gagged, but he'll just glare at him as defiantly as he can fake.
I see this one has some fight in him. No matter.
And he takes a step forward, grabbing you by the jaw.
We'll break him of that. And he too will join the Order of the God Claw.
He turns to the one that he was talking to.
Make certain it is done by the book.
Yes, my liege.
You'll be a fine addition. If the sort is correct about your abilities. And
the scene fades out from there. Back to our wandering group of adventurers making their way in wearily to Akasazi just before nightfall. Perhaps you're going a little bit slower than normal, just making certain that you're just a little sore from the fight. A little sore from the fight and a little beat up, but the familiar rain and wind of the area greets you. Its oppressiveness over everything, never seeming to stop. Akasazi is less than 50 yards away. What are you doing?
Yeah. Yeah, and Reynolds, I think, kind of knows Coravel. It's obvious they're not like close friends or anything, but he seems to know who he is, and you get the impression that Coravel has some of involvement with the Bellflower Network. Yeah, and Coravel's mainly concerned with comforting Reynolds, but it's a long journey, and at some point he will after kind of getting to know Milo a little bit, he'll ask him a question. But I guess you should know a little bit about him first. He is a druid. As you probably guessed, he has aquatic elven blood, and he does have a snake friend. Yeah, he tells you is called Nasha, and he kind of travels this area. You know, he doesn't stay in one place very long, and he certainly doesn't like being in villages for too long. You know, there's somewhere he'll go and see people and then leave because he doesn't feel entirely comfortable. But although he doesn't like living in villages, he does care about these. He cares about Akasazi, but he also sort of refers indirectly to some other settlements. You're not quite sure where, but it seems like he travels between a group of settlements in this area and kind of helps out with things where he can. He'll heal some injuries people have taken fishing or something like that, or maybe help people with crops or with sick animals, and then maybe people would pay him a little bit or give him somewhere to stay for the night. And he's been helping the Bellflower Network for a while, because he really is strongly opposed to slavery. He's very big on personal freedom, and he in fact will tell you that he has been seeking you out for the last day or so because he heard about what you did here at the lighthouse and then what you did in town, and that's why he wasn't that far behind you when you got here. So yeah, he'll tell you all that about himself. He doesn't tell you a lot about his family or anything like that, but it seems he was quite keen to kind of offer his services to help you rid this area of the Hellknights. So you learn that about him, and then he'll at some point after learning a little about Milo, he'll look round kind of surreptitiously in Rigzin's direction, and at some point when Rigzin's kind of slightly out of earshot, he'll say, I was a little concerned to hear what your friend said. Well, everyone said he was a hero, but that sounded, well, more vengeful and heroic. I think you were disturbed as well, what he said about your deity.
He didn't mean it. He's mourning. He's grieving our friend. I'm sure he'll feel better tomorrow morning.
Yes, I was sorry to hear about your friend being taken away by those. It's not a nice fate.
Yeah, Milo is still really curious about you, because you look like the people from this town, but you're not from this town. And Milo is also just a city boy. He's never left the town, so he will be curious to know more about Coravel. So you don't live in this village? Where do you stay? Where?
Well, deep under the stars mostly. I must admit, a roof is nice on a wet night, but wherever I can, I sleep among nature. It's my calling. I do like visiting the villages and seeing others of my kind, but and in notice there again, he said villages. He said that seeing others of my kind, but after a while, I have to get back to where my heart is. And he kind of waves a hand towards the lands around and says, "Out here. This is my home."
I imagine Milo's his face is dripping with water. It's and no shelter. You have no home.
You can make shelter very easily. It's not hard to do. It's a bit of work, but well, hard work never hurt anyone.
Is this true? Kind of looks over at his companions can you believe this guy? He doesn't even live in this.
Yeah.
And he doesn't even live in the Podunk town.
Yeah, he can't stand the rat race of Akisazi, so
Yeah. Too much hustle and bustle in this little fishing town.
The rat race of Akasazi. That's the quote of the evening.
It's just like the morning traffic along the waterfront there is just hell. You can't be dealing with that anymore. Yeah. So, yeah. He says he has. It's nice to be with people from time to time. He'll drop by a village at least once a week, but most of the time it's just him and Nasha. And she's quiet but companionable.
Milo's kind of freaked out by the snake. No attempts to pet it or anything like that. Yes. Nature.
And yeah, if you're freaked out by the snake, you probably don't like the fact he's occasionally reaching into a pouch at his belt and pulling out dead mice and just feeding them to them.
At least they're dead.
Yeah.
Watch them die. Milo will also just check in on Maden and Rigzin, having seen them die a couple of times in the last couple hours. Friends, how do you feel? I brought you back from the brink by the power of Sarenrae. Either Rigzin or Maden. I'm talking to both my friends here.
X.
Oh, go ahead, Sim. Go ahead, Sim.
So Madden, hearing Milo say that. Yes, and while I do thank you for that, I don't have time to feel bad about dying, this wounds. Must focus on getting Sabriel back. He'll stop and kind of look at Milo.
Yes. Milo will say aloud, kind of in the direction of Rigzin, who again just seems super depressed and in despair. Milo will say aloud, says, "Yes, we will retrieve him. Surely Sabriel will not choose to join the Hellknights. There's no way."
Well, from my experience, people have breaking points. They'll find his. We must get to them before they do. But rest assured, it's not going to be pretty. He'll turn and start walking again.
It was not Sarenrae that saved us yesterday. Today, it was you, Milo. It was not the gods that were smiling upon us in battle. It was our friendship. I wonder if it would have been better for me to die on the battlefield than Sabriel give himself up to those dogs. We will be too late, dear Maden. He will be a Hell Knight by the time we find him. So prepare yourselves.
No, we will. He will be redeemed to the side of good, to the side of light.
Redemption. Redemption is a story they tell us so that we keep spinning in place, toiling away, trying to understand the despair we feel, dear Milo. Who redeems us? The gods? Ourselves? Our friends? Our family? Our decisions? It's all here, and he taps his forehead, his temple. And we seek to understand the choices we made, not understanding the consequences those choices led to.
Gosh, Milo is so thrown off by Rigzin's attitude. I want to do the equivalent of his sense motive, which was a perception or like a 5e insight. Would I roll perception for that, or just to get a sense of
Yes.
how he's feeling? Like, what's going on with this guy? I'll just roll
Yes,
perception,
they rolled.
if I may.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Yeah.
Oh, no, they rolled perception
Thank
into. I'm sorry, they rolled sense motive into perception.
Right. Yeah.
What are you attempting
I'm
to?
just trying to
ascertain?
figure out what's wrong with is he possessed? Is he under the some kind of magical effect? What happened to Rigzin?
I'd let Rigzin speak for himself.
Sure.
What
For a
is-
13, what can I get from you, Rigzin?
I would say, at this point, how do you put this? It's like you rip apart all the facades of humanity, all the facades of society, of being the proper person. It's all gone, and all you're seeing is the pure raw nerve that is like it's strained, pulled like how it's like butter that's spread over too much bread. You're seeing a person start devolving into what best you can describe as madness to what he was before.
Yeah, again, Milo just respects him as an elder and as someone whom he still identifies as a paladin, but is just having just a really bad day. Milo will not, again, doesn't have the balls to challenge him and to confront him about his attitude right now. I think just a night of sleep will do him good. And so Milo again always looks forward to the day. The nights can seem so dark and the days can get awful and wet and cloudy, but the dawn always brings new light. He's convinced of it. So he will say nothing but just kind of wonder and add Rigzin to the top of his prayer list when he goes to pray tonight. He will push. He will pray until something happens.
All right.
A little evangelical token for you there. He will push.
Okay, so I picture you all walking towards the tavern. The tavern owner, who you have met before, looks at you as you come walking in. Fullel was his name. You're back. We didn't expect you all so soon. We thought you would be gone for I don't know how long.
Yes.
Is everything okay? Where's your friend?
Rigzin stands in front of him and he looks him back, just stares back at him. Move.
Jeez.
Yeah, okay. I mean, he remembers you as the guy who brought in the rift claws and all that. And looks at Milo, and perhaps Rigzin walks by him, and he just looks at Milo and whispers, "Man, did he have a bad day or something?"
Milo will say, yes, move.
Just moves out of the way.
Milo just kind of, again, it's kind of watching Riggs and just kind of staring at him like, what the fuck is wrong with this guy?
Rigzin walks straight to the bar. How much would a silver piece get him with respect to alcohol?
I think off the top of my head, it is a copper piece per mug of ale. So that would be 10.
He
Double
goes.
check on that, but
That's good. Let's keep it 10 or some multitudes of 10, right? Enough to get shit faced beyond belief.
Yes.
Perfect. So he's going to walk up to the bar, take a copper piece from from his little sack of coins, and slam it hard on the bar counter. Drink. Keep it coming. And he just turns around, finds the most remote table, sits there, and starts drinking late into the night. And clearly, the body language that he is exuding is he does not want any company.
So yeah, Folao gets a mug of ale and brings it to you. Excuse me. And I was exactly right. It is 1 copper piece.
Nailed it.
I feel ashamed that I know that and proud at the same time. Yeah, and so he just keeps up the drinks all night. It's like a real morose affair, man. What are the rest of you doing as you see him kind of go off into the background and just begin drinking?
Milo will be concerned with Reynold trying to just be hospitable to him and invite him to join us, at least whatever rooms we may or may not have. and Coravel as well. Just concerned with hospitality with our new friends.
Yeah, Madden is gonna get cleaned up, and he's gonna go rest. He's not drinking booze or nothing. He knows he needs to rest, and he's got a long journey.
Coravel is obviously, you can see he's known to people in town. It's not like, he's got a lot of acquaintances, no particular friends that you can see, but people seem to know who he is. A lot of people say hi. You notice some people don't seem as keen on him. You get some glances because he is a bit odd, particularly carrying the snake around, but in general he seems to be fairly well sort of thought of, but not really kind of part of the town, definitely. But he comes in with you guys, and he'll definitely share a drink. He'll drink some sort of watered down ale, and he'll be keen to understand more about you guys and what you're doing and what you're looking to achieve here.
Sure. Can I just pause for a second and ask, what was our goal in the last session? We were going to go somewhere else when we decided to go to the lighthouse. I feel like whatever it was, fuck that, because our friend is now under the Hellknights care. But what GM, could you remind me what we were doing last time? What we were planning to do?
Sure. Your party had finally gotten some information from the tavern owner, Sedru, giving you an approximate location for where he received the Asmodeus or Asmodean paraphernalia, whether it be tapestries or actual unholy books, that type of thing. And he gave up the I almost said the address, the location, and
email.
After you had protected Akasazi.
Okay.
So you woke up, and that was kind of the plan.
Sure.
But there was also this idea of
Let's make sure our friend is safe.
Let's make sure our friend is safe, and something also to point out is you regaled when you came back, because Rigzin was not present with you when you had first gone to the lighthouse.
Yeah.
So you retold this tale to him about meeting the Hellknights, the whole 9 yards. And the next morning, while the plan was to go to the location given to you by Sedru, Rigzin convinced you all to go to the lighthouse, believing it to be imperative for the keeper's safety, as well as because he was uncertain of whether or not the Hellknights would have done anything.
So all this is Rigzin's fault. I just want to make sure I check that. Okay, cool.
That is accurate.
Accurate.
Okay. Just keeping that in mind, our actual job. We were sent here to stop or to investigate any cult of Asmodeus that was growing supposedly in this area. That was our original quest. Now we're just really consumed with the fact that our friend has been kidnapped, essentially. Cool. Just wanted to recap that.
Goals change over time.
Yeah. They do. Just wanted to recap and think about the whole big picture. Cool. I think Milo will be obviously very concerned about Rigzin, both just because of his attitude and also he doesn't want him to be hung over, drunk and worthless in the morning. But also even his new friend Coravel, and I guess Maden, he said, went straight to bed. He said.
Yeah, he's resting.
Yeah, but Milo would remind Coravel to not overdo it tonight because we have more work in the morning, over after the sun rises again.
Maden is in bed, or he went to bed, correct?
Yeah.
Coravel and Milo. It appears that Rigzin is not going to bed anytime soon.
Milo will gently, carefully approach Rigzin, who doesn't look like anyone should be near him right now.
Yeah, he goes over to poke the bear.
As he's like slamming, I don't know, slamming back shots or just drinking pitchers full of beer or whatever it is. Milo will approach him and say, Sir Rigzin? Let's remember to not overdo it tonight, as we have important business tomorrow, yes?
Yes. And then he continues to drink and chug.
Milo will kind of like just take steps back without even turning his back to him and like walk slowly.
Say what is on your mind, young Milo. Say it.
No, I just don't want you to be. I don't want a headache or a stomach ache or you to be throwing up when we need to fight tomorrow.
We shall not be fighting tomorrow. We shall not be fighting anytime soon. I said before and I say it again. Lessons were learned this time. We shall not repeat the same mistakes again.
What?
Foolishly, I ran headstrong into a fight I should not have run into. A friend is lost. 3 others were hurt beyond belief. We were saved by an elf who happened to be in the area. We were saved by your fortitude. I let my pride get in the way. I let my past get in the way. That's why we are paying for it now. No.
So what is this lesson? What have we learned from today?
The Hellknights. You don't attack them head on. I will tell you more when the time is right, young Milo. But for now, leave me be. I have much to ponder and much to do. Get your rest.
I will rest, and so will you. Milo gets like just enough guts to like put his hand over Rigzin's drink, just palms over his drink, and says, "You must rest as well, my friend."
I cannot rest, don't you get it? The moment I close my eyes, the entire battle unfolds again. Do you think I do not know what has happened? The moment I close my eyes, I see Sabriel's face. Why do you think I drink? Leave me be, Milo. Go get your rest.
I fear that we will move on tomorrow without you.
Maybe if that were to happen, it would be a blessing upon you and Maden.
I will pray for you tonight.
Do what you must. But I doubt that the God is listening to us right now. maybe it's for the best for what is to come.
Perhaps it is best that the gods do not listen to what you say right now, Milo will say as he just walks away.
Rigzin looks at his back and continues to drink.
So Maden is asleep. Caravel and Milo, I'm assuming you go and you rest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Caravel will stay up a little bit longer. He's rested well recently, and he just wants to. He just sits there quietly at the next table, kind of keeping a little bit of a watchful eye on Rigzin, trying to just assess his state of mind because he doesn't really know him, Rigzin probably wasn't in much of a mood to talk on the journey, so he hasn't really got to know him. But he'll just keep an eye on him and see what kind of sense of him he gets. So he'll be slowly nursing. He probably had like 3 or 4 kind of small tankards of weak ale, so he's basically fine, and he's just kind of nursing one. Had a bit of food as well. His snake's gone off somewhere to rest. He's just sitting there. Whenever Rigzin looks over in his direction, Caravel will be looking at him and will kind of nod and raise a glass. But he won't be saying anything. He's just sort of sitting there. And you kind of get the impression that he's keeping you company, but keeping his distance.
Rigzin continues to drink into the night, maybe around 2-ish. It's kind of like just the body takes over. And, as he puts the glass down, his head rolls back and it's like on the chair. He would be, I think, getting a few hours of sleep. I would say about 4-ish. And suddenly he just kind of snaps out of the chair, almost stands up and screams Sabriel's name with his arms extended. He shakes his head and kind of looks around to kind of reorient himself.
And Caravel will just say to him, "You're still in the inn."
He kind of shakes his head now. The hangover is setting in, but he keeps shaking his head. Through the window, he can see the sun starting to rise. He puts his bags down. You can see there's a silver sword that is wrapped up in cloth that he keeps it on the table. From the lapel of his coat, he pulls out what looks like a brooch that's some sort of silver. He takes that off as well and keeps it along with the sword on the table. From his backpack, he pulls out what looks like an ordinary long sword. He holds it in his right hand and takes his shield and walks out. He starts walking on the streets of Akasazi towards the closest shoreline or small beach. He sits in the sand and kind of gazes out at the sea that's just going out into the horizon. He looks at his right hand at the sword. He looks at his shield in the left hand. He drops the sword into the sand, takes the shield with both hands, walks up to the edge of the water. And with a mighty heave, just throws the shield as far as he can into the sea. And walks back to the sword, and he seems to be searching the beach. He keeps searching till he finds what he's looking for. seems to be in a small pool of water, jagged rock, full of seaweeds and moss. For years I prayed to you. I bowed to you. I followed the law. I followed the teachings. I revered you. I fought in your name. I bled in your name. And I almost died in your name. What did it get me? A family that I have lost. A faith that I do not know if it is mine. Deeds that I am ashamed that the world will find out. In your name, my actions were perverted. In your name, I tried to redeem myself. And you just stood by, watched. But I guess that's what it means to be fallen. Now I understand the scriptures. And I always wondered why someone would fall from grace, why they would choose a path that is not in your protection. What does your protection get? Nothing. Heartache, pain, misery. A friend I've lost somewhere in these woods, being twisted and turned and tortured at the hands of the very people I once served. Irony. I guess that's what they should call you. The god of irony. Well, I know it won't matter to you in the grand scheme of things. And with that, he raises a sword high above his head and brings it down on the jagged rock. Again, and again, till the sword shatters and splinters. I renounce thee. I forsake thee. I no longer walk in your path. Your name is lost to me. With that, he gathers the shards of the sword and walks back towards the town.
So all of you were probably awoken, startled in the middle of the night by hearing just somebody yell something at 4 a.m. But just in case, we all go ahead and roll me a let's see what your passive perception is. You know, just go ahead and roll me a perception check, y'all.
Okay.
Corval, Maddie.
By the way, what Corivel would have done is he would have just been curled up on the floor in a blanket near where he was sitting, which is why he kind of, I was saying he kind of responded.
Gotcha.
He was originally intending to take Rigzin off to a room once he drunk himself unconscious, but Rigzin was just too hard to move. He was stirring every time he tried to move him, so he gave up and just lay down nearby. So that's why I was saying he was close.
Sure. Yeah. Maden and Milo, you guys had a hard day yesterday. You're probably just, your bodies are exhausted. And
Natural 1, natural 2.
Yeah. I was like,
Perfect.
10 seems like a good DC for this. We'll go with 10. And you rolled a 9. Anything but a 1, and you would have gotten it. And Maden, anything but, yeah, man, low rolls.
I suspect Milo may have kind of like stirred for a minute, had woken up with a feeling. Did I hear something? No.
I was actually hoping that Milo wouldn't hear him because Milo's really wanting to hope that you're better in the morning.
Oh dear.
Oh, honey. Oh, honey.
Oh, bless your heart.
Bless your heart. Coravel, you would have heard him. You would have heard Rigzin stir, yell, leave, and march out. What would you do? Just give him space, and let him go out?
Coravel considers going, but he sees that there's some real determination on Rigzin's face, and he doesn't know him that well. So he kind of sleepily walks to the door and just sees where Rigzin's going. So he sees him walk down to the beach and stop, and then he's just kind of thinks, okay, this is a private moment, and then he goes back and tries to get a bit more sleep.
All right. So Rigzin, you come back into the town. It is probably, like you said earlier, the sun was beginning to rise. It's probably 5 a.m. You've had your body and soul, for that matter, and mind are just probably exhausted. Are you taking those shards and doing something specific with them at this moment, or are you coming back into the tavern and going to sleep? What's your next steps?
Sorry for you're muted.
Yeah, so Rigzin is walking back into town with the shards in his hand. Nobody would notice this because nobody's out there, but he is actually crying. Like there's tears streaming down his face, but it's hard to make out if he's crying or if it's just the rain of Akasazi that's falling on his face. He comes into the tavern, doesn't even acknowledge anyone who's awake or sleeping, walks up the stairs, gets to his room, keeps the shards on the nightstand next to his bed, and just face plants into the bed. Into a dark sleep.
Well, y'all, that seems like a good place to end our session for tonight. And to then we can start on a new day the next time that we play. So, thank you all for playing.
Things can only get worse from here.
There's nowhere to go but down.
Doesn't get
Thanks for running.
Thank you, Prankster, for the
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Have fun.
You guys do most of the work. I'm just here reacting. All right, well, y'all, for those who are listening, have a good evening, and tune in with us the next time we play.